I just went through and cleaned this tape edge up. And now I'm going to get in trouble for it. But I'm using bond tape because the lacquer, this is got a lacquer finish on it, so this tape will stick. It'll be able to stay on it for a couple of days and not melt into the lacquer like greens and blue tape. See what I'm doing is, see how this looks white? Now when I do this, what I'm doing is I'm smashing this edge down so it gets good seal. See how it's not sticking right there? So that's what you want to do. You want to go through and smash it down so you get a good seal on that tape line. And you want it to do the 45. People make the biggest mistake when they do this. They'll bring your tape down and they'll jump from this piece of trim to this one. And when they do that, they don't realize that, because they'll go like this and then they'll jump it over here. If you don't do the 45, when you go to cock it, you'll fill it up with caulking, and then you'll have the tape on the front of it. And then when you pull your tape, you'll have this big glob of caulking sitting there, and it looks like trash. And it's because this right here, when you jump it from here to here, that's exactly what it does. So what you want to do is you want to go straight down into the corner and then lay it down and then start pulling it. And that's how you do your 45s. Notice it's even like that underneath. See how it's got like a little bit of roundness right there? You want that 45 in there. Because if not, see how it's touching in the back? That's what you want. So when you cock this and the tape pulls it off, it'll leave a nice crisp line. But I do this part first because you always start at the lowest point. So when I do this, I want this to run into this and it's off. Like if you notice, see how the piece of wood is off? See how this hole is over here a little bit and this one's tighter to the wall? That means I gotta run it down this way and then taper it over. And when you do that, it kind of like gets the tape kind of messed up. So in order to compensate that, you tape this off first, and then you run this down, and then you bend your tape over here a little bit, and it keeps that same straight line. I'll show you here in a second. And what I do is I go right to the edge of the wood and I pull back a little bit. Keep that nice straight line. If you notice, I'm gonna bring this down. And then when I get about right here, I'm gonna start turning it. And pull this way a little bit. And what it does, it compensates that tape line. It puts the tape line back in order for me. So it's straight. Then I'll bring this over here. Top of that. But you don't want, like when you got a piece of tape down, another piece of tape into it, you don't want it to crisscross. Just go. It'll have a Z, or it'll look real lumpy. But that's what you want. You want it to come down and then come out. You want that straight line straight, even though it's brought out a little bit. It's just compensated. It just messes with your eye a little bit. But you only got like a 16th of an inch to mess with when you do it. And see that spot up there? If you notice, I didn't try to go with that piece of wood. I went right through it because I want the straightness. I don't want whatever's behind that tape line is gonna get painted. You ain't gonna see it. But that's one of those things, like you gotta, like whenever I'm pulling my tape out and I'm running it, what I'm doing is I'm steering it to make sure it looks straight. And because sometimes the wall will be bowed out. In order for you to do that, you gotta kind of like make it a little tighter right there in that area. whenever you get your finger starts to hurt, just grab a wet rag. Now I don't have a piece of tape on this because I'm trying to save time. Once I get done with this video, I'll tape it backfill. And because I don't have a tape right now, I don't want to tape where I don't want to backfill into the corner yet. So if you notice, I'm putting right here, and then I'm going to drag it out. That tells me that I ain't did that yet. Because normally if you tape a room, you gotta backfill the same day. Because if you don't tape it backfill the same day, say if I got this here till tomorrow and I come back, most of it would fall off or it would have lifted up or something like that. So it's always better to tape it backfill as soon as you do it. That's the whole reason why people do it back to back like that. It's because it's not just because it's not for no reason. It's because the fact that well, it's for the fact that it'll fall off at night. Same thing with this. I ended up cutting this out because it had a bunch of silicone in it. I actually got a video on it I'm trying to make right now with this one on how if these looked before with paint all over them. I cleaned it off. Now I'm backfilling it. Then I'm going to paint it. Show you guys what it looks like after we paint it. To show you guys that you can clean this stuff up. It's not a big deal. It just takes time. It just takes time and effort. Cut that. And normally what I do when I do these bottoms, is I'll tie into this piece because I already know it's going up and over. And then I'll peel how close to the edge of the wood I am under here. And then just tack it down. Because it's so lumpy in there, you can't run the tape on it. Now finish this. But if you notice it, I try to stuff all the caulking I can in the crack. And then what's left over, I smear across the tape line. Because you want to seal the tape. That way no paint gets under your tape. That's where all that silicone was. And what I'm doing is I'm going back through, there's a little bubble right there that is not connected, so I can fill it up.
If you notice, I didn't even react when I smacked that board and my phone fell off. Like, if you notice, you'll see shadows and stuff in the ceiling. There's no reason for that. Like, there's plastic on the windows, but they don't move. And you'll hear the doors open and shutting all the time.
If you notice, this piece of wood up here is so far out, it needs nailed back in, but this casing's holding it out. So I want to compensate that middle. But I don't want it to be way out onto the trim. So once I get about right here, I'm going to start taking it in. It's a big old nasty gap. But what I don't want to do is push too much caulking into it. I just want it to be as flush as possible. Sometimes in order to do that, you can't push it. See how it turned out? What you gotta do is you gotta go back up here, add some more caulk and do it. Because remember, all you want to do is clean off what's on the tape. So you can see the tape line like this. And if you want to be able to see the tape. But that means it's thin enough that the tape will cut it. Now, all this stuff that's taped and backfilled, once the backfill dries, it should be good to start painting. But I just wanted to show you this process because this is the next step after you clean the trim up. Like after you clean all the paint off the trim so you can get a decent tape line on there, then you gotta tape it, backfill it, then you can paint it. It's just part of that process. Hit that subscribe button, and I love you.